Hey. My YouFoods text came through early today. I always forget it's going to happen on a Thursday. It always happens. Strictly say hello. Start things up, I think. I'm going to do my stand. Oh, I haven't even turned on my background lights. Seems terribly drab without them. Let's turn on the background lights. That YouTube cliche, but there we go. Bit of color. I'm going to set up and shoot a video. Right, well, let's get to it. All right, I suppose I should put chickens in charge while I do this. Stream tradition. People need to know the lore of the stream. The many-headed chicken in charge. There we go. That's good arrangement, chickens. Good job. All right. So I'm going to do this. I will shoot this first. Let's add a tripod. If you were stupid, I could have left you. Just got reminded that old Brendan McLean song when I was out there. Stupid. Which apparently some TikTok kids picked up on in the last year. They like doing the little bit of lip syncing. So, if you weren't so stupid, I could have left you. Right, okay, so one step at a time. Let's do this. All right. Actually, I'm going to fill my little tiki goblet with ice. That's how I'll know I have the right amount of ice. That's probably right. Okay. The third. There we go. Verk. Fishky. That's probably a bit fucking close there, actually. So do that. Und mir Wurst getten Sie GoPro ready. Hey, Chog. Yes, Angry Chicken Man's here. In fact, the chickens are looking after things for now. There's a plane going overhead. So, one video I'm going to make. An autumn pina colada, because most of my cocktail audience is in the Northern Hemisphere, like about 75%. I don't really go in the whole seasonal cocktail thing anyway. There we go. Right, now I need to get things ready. All right. My newest rum from Jimmy Rum. I am going to put a bit of allspice in here. Allspice. Drum. And that's all the alcohol, I think. Got my thingy. Sorry, I just got the McFly thing. Chicken. Wait, did I? Okay, I did not. Okay, fair enough. No, that is not what I meant to do. Thinking. Come on, brain, get it together. Oh, that's not what I meant. But you know what I'll do? Everyone's favorite drink. Just going for a real simple pina colada recipe. Rum, cream of coconut, pineapple juice, lime juice. Yep. We are hunky-dory. It's taken me a little while to get ready, but we're here. I don't make a big deal of Halloween, but it can be fun. And we do get a lot of kids coming to this neighborhood. So I'm going to have some treats for them. It's just a bit of fun for the kids. Kids should have fun in this fucked up world. Okay, so getting ready. Okay, got everything ready. In slow mo, in let's go mode. Okay. Half an ounce of pimented ram. 1.5 ounces of pineapple juice. Please be pineapple juice and not Syrah. It's pineapple juice. Just started to doubt myself for a second there. And lime juice. And the final thing, my toasted cream of coconut. Okay. Let's do that. Just make sure I got that right. Oh shit. There we go. That's right. Alright. Probably should turn that on again. I'm gonna make your damn video. Painfully cold to hold, so I'll pour that in. Okay. Take a little picture of this for publicity purposes, for thumbnail purposes. Because this will be a longer YouTube video. Okay. Zot. Okay, now for the talky bit. Alright. Oof, what a way to start a stream, hey? Let's just take another 5 minutes probably. I thought that was Wolf Queen. Hello. Oh, no, Crowley, the real person, was actually a piece of shit. But, you know, he's Halloween. That's my excuse for mentioning his birthday. I just thought it was fitting that his birthday was in the lead up to Halloween. Oh, right. Is that right? That looks right. That's right. That's going. Okay. G'day, cocktail lovers. I see a lot of my cocktail friends in the Northern Hemisphere talking about their favourite fall cocktails at the moment. Now, I get that people regard drinks as seasonal, sort of bright, fruity, icy drinks in summer, and the more stirred down and darker spirit ones in autumn/fall/winter. I get it. I tend to just do whatever, whenever. But, you know, celebrating seasonal things is not bad. And even though I'm coming into spring, some weirdly cool weather this week. Today in particular was rainy and gloomy. May as well have been autumn. And I had in mind, I'll do something for everyone looking for an autumn or a fall drink. And what actually spurred this off was the milk clarified cocktail I made recently. I'll put a link at the end of the video to this so you know what I'm talking about, but there's a recently discovered new way to do milk clarification with no acid or no citrus juice. It involves using powdered milk, and you could use powdered dairy milk, powdered coconut milk. I tried both. Both were pretty impressive with an old-fashioned, but I had a bunch of the leftover coconut milk that was used in this process, and it just kind of wants to separate. And I thought, I'm going to make some cream of coconut with this, which is basically adding sugar. And I thought that might hold together, but I see it trying to separate in the fridge. You know what, I'm just going to use it up. But because I toasted the powdered coconut milk before reconstituting it, it was very brown. It made for a very chocolate milk looking coconut milk, and very much so with the cream of coconut was also a very chocolatey brown. I thought, well, that's already quite weird compared to normal cream of coconut. And I thought, I will make an autumn version of a pina colada because I've already got a very different cream of coconut there. Rather than using the lighter rum you would normally use in a pina colada, I'm going to use a fairly robust one. This is actually my newest rum. It's from a nearby distillery called Jimmy Rum, and they call it Rum Rum. And there is, to my mind, a bit of a funny story with that. The distillery's been open for a few years. To meet the definitions of rum, of course, rum has to be aged for a certain number of years, but they wanted to release product. So they were releasing their distillate, which it was cane spirit. It didn't meet the definition of rum, but it's rum adjacent. It's just not aged. Their silver is particularly good, and they aged it for a while in a barrel, which they just called oaked, because neither of those were actually meeting the definition of rum. But kind of cheeky, the business is called Jimmy Rum, so it's obvious what they're putting in the bottle. They did also import rums from the Caribbean and do their own blend and release that, and that was really good as well. But this was their first fully fledged rum they distilled themselves. So it's like, this is not our cane spirit, this is rum rum. It's also 50% ABV, 100 proof. So it's got to be a bit of a kick in this pina colada. And I thought to really bring up those flavors that get associated with autumn, some cooking spices, I'm going to put some pimento dram, also known as allspice dram, in there. And the rest is going to be just the little fruit touches that is standard with a pina colada. So here's how we're making it. In our shaker, putting 2 ounces or 60 mils of the rum. Then I'm putting half an ounce or 15 mils of the pimento dram. Then I'm putting 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of fresh pineapple juice in there. Final ingredient, no. Then I'm adding half an ounce or 15 mils of lime juice. And finally, I'm just going to chuck in my leftover toasted cream of coconut. It's about 2.5 ounces going in there. Add ice to the shaker, shake that good and hard for about 15 to 20 seconds to make sure that cream of coconut's really integrated in there. And then I'm doing a dirty dump into my favorite tiki goblet. And unusually for me, I have some pineapple fronds on hand, so I'm using those for a garnish. I actually bought a little pineapple today that had the frond, so I've got the garnish, and it was very fresh pineapple juice. I also made a pineapple syrup with the pulp that was left after I juiced it. So I'm also making some tepache, using every part of the good old pineapple, several parts of it more than once. But my autumn pina colada, time for a taste. Oh, those are beautiful, rich flavors. And you would not necessarily go in a blind taste test that this was a pina colada. It's changed it enough that it really is its own thing. It's really good. I think I'll use my straw rather than get those fronds up my nose from now on. So yeah, if you're looking for a fun drink that goes in with the autumn weather, try this. And as I said, there should be a link right about now to the old-fashioned with the powdered milk that'll tell you how I got to that toasted cream of coconut. So watch that as well, and I hope to see you again soon. Until such time as I do, I will just say cheers. All right, I feel like I was rambling at the end, but we got there. And I'm not making any more videos tonight. So we shall put these things away. And I will sit and I will chat. That's probably taken me about half an hour. I wasn't even keeping an eye on the time there. I've actually got a few interesting things to taste tonight. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Chickens. Oh, I didn't even put the banner up. I feel bad. And Chog, yes, Australia is an expensive place to live. Wow. Okay. Good. Oh, we're donezo. And yes, pina coladas are friggin' ace drinks. Where did I put it? I've gone insane. The ace drinks. And this is a really good variation. Man, this is really fucking yum. Wow. It's a little bit sweet for the amount of the cream of coconut I put in there. But I'm okay with that. And that's fucking yum as, actually. Was a little bit sweet, but I don't know. So I'm going to adjust my webcam a little bit. I like to be framed properly. And it's like, am I the only one? Because it's still, like we've been... See, I lose track of time. What are we coming up on? 3 years of COVID? And we've been doing like online shit for 3 years now. And I still get people joining. I can't even do it high enough. It's like this. I still get people joining meetings like this. It's like, what the fuck? How have you not fucking worked out how to frame yourself properly? What the fuck? So I'm very judgmental of people who can't frame their cameras right. Yeah, see, that's like almost everything, Chog. The hugely expensive things in Australia are usually because the shipping costs to here are very expensive, and just general handling costs are expensive here. But I mean, it's not even the bottom. It's like people, it's just their face peering over, and I was just like, "Are you a moron?" Just washing down some anti-inflammatories because my back has started acting up again. So I'm doing exercises that the physio taught me and anti-inflammatories. If it's worse tomorrow, I'll probably put a heat pack on it. I might end up going back to the physio next week. We'll see. Well, there is that. Yeah, like the car loses value when the moment you drive it off the lot. Yeah. Oh, that's why you prefer to get so it's like about a 1 to 2 year old car. Yeah, capitalism's fucking weird, man. Oh, right. So you're looking for, you don't buy things new, you just haunt hi-fi laserdisc groups. When someone's selling something you want, in you go. Me, I just get sucked into buying booze all the time. I'm just straight up going to have to stop. I have no self-control. I'll go through little phases where I'm good, and then I'll go through phases where I'm like, oh my, I'm buying so much. And I don't drink. That's when I say I've got to stop. It's not like because I'm drinking too much. It's because I'm not drinking it. Yes, and I definitely don't want secondhand booze. So, but this is the newest one, actually. This is Archie Rose's double malt whiskey, Copperpot distilled. This is what this is the final of their what do they call them? Fundamental spirits. They're entry level ones, the cheapest ones. They've now got a vodka, a gin, and a whiskey. This is the newest. I got to try it, and I got to compare it to Starwood's entry level one, twofold, which I quite like. My most used mixer. Depends what you mean by mixer, honestly. Yes, Musical Aviator, remember to vote yes this weekend. I will be absolutely unequivocal in advocating for that. So, Chog Hewitt, soda water or lemonade? Yeah, see, if we're talking like a soft drink mixer, I extremely rarely use a mixer like that. When I do, the most common one's probably dry ginger ale because that goes really well with a lot of things. Yes. Most used based whiskey, then gin, then rum, then brandy, then tequila or the agave spirits. If we're talking about the modifiers, so modifiers are things like vermouth and liqueurs and whatnot. So I guess my most used modifier is probably going to be vermouth because you use that in martinis and Manhattans. Well, it's very interesting. I genuinely think those Sky News people don't realize the scale to which they're telegraphing their racism. Well, ice changes a drink. It actually does. But I've actually just, in terms of modifiers for drinks, I've been trying to be really diverse. It's kind of this year. I've gotten more into using fortified ones like sherry and port as modifiers in a cocktail. Can be very, very yummy. Because there's even, the sugar syrup is a modifier in a cocktail. And bitters. These are all modifiers. But yeah, in terms, whether you're talking about modifier or a soda type mixer, I don't use any one often enough to say it's the most common. Hello, Justin, and over on Twitch, hello, Mism Creations. How are you doing? It's Thursday night for me. Who knows what it is for anyone else? Oh, Shrika Sega. Because I pay no attention to those people, I had no idea Chris Kenny was on the yes side. So there you go. I mean, it will be interesting to see what happens in the vote. I have no idea how accurate the published polling is. If no gets up, there's a lot of secret racists. Because, and again, not all Indigenous people are on board with yes. Only about 80%. To me, it is perfectly straightforward. I have seen no evidence that any white person advocating a no vote is anything other than a racist or a weird, fucked up, paranoid conspiracy theorist. Or, of course, worst of all, racist conspiracy theorists. There's... Yeah. No, there is no white person advocating a no vote that I have anything but contempt for. Because, again, the people who just go, oh, I don't know, like that video Briggs made that went all viral. It's just like, If you don't know, fucking find out. It's pretty fucking trivially easy, just absurdly trivially easy to find out just how low key the voice actually would be. So yeah, I just have absolute contempt for people. So what's this music over there? Barnaby Joyce, Anthony Albanese. We'll have to ask him. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. That again, that's the thing. The LNP are super fucking desperate because they know the tide of history is working against them, and they have convinced themselves that pushing a no vote will hurt the Labor government. It might not. But again, Barnaby Joyce, drunken fuckwit. I mean, that's just an embarrassingly stupid thing to say. And I do, yeah, like it. What if it's a yes vote? Should it be detailed? It's just an embarrassingly stupid thing. Well, see, Chog, I literally don't know. Like, we've been told consistently that the polling says the no vote's going to get up. But I've also just come through 2 elections, one state, one federal, where the media were either straight up lying or just grossly out of touch because their predictions for success for the LNP were so fucking wrong. So I'm literally just saying, I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, Justin, there's a lot of that. People who think they're otherwise nice, but they're racist, either overtly or covertly. Actually, I've never seen that one. Strictly Sega. I like that. Barnaby Joyce is at the Chattanooga Choo Choo. Yeah, yeah. Track 29. Hey, can you give me a shine? Okay, finished my pina colada. I think I should have a little taste of this. I have an idea which actually involves buying more bottles of alcohol. There are 1 or 2 other Australian whiskies that are called entry level. I'm doing a blind taste test of them to see which one I like the most. Oh, okay. I hadn't been watching Sean McAuliffe. There you go. Every time he says his name, they do that. Fair enough, too. Now my hands are sticky from the syrup in the pina colada. I'm going to disappear for like less than 30 seconds and wash my hands. All right. Oof. Okay, goddamn, my fucking back hurts. Okie dokie. Okay, I need to get the twofold and do a comparison. Is the twofold? I feel like doing another championship match blind taste test with my whiskies, actually. Oh, I didn't get glasses. It would be helpful to have glasses to taste the whiskey in. I mean, I could just swig it from the bottle. Who's gonna stop me? Her family owns up that she's a racist. Oh, damn. Including her husband. Damn. Chog, dad's a casual racist. Don't think it's intentional. And that is racism. Yeah. Okay, I'll one-up you on the racism. My dad was racist as fuck, and he would he would make those really racist generalized statements about Aboriginal people. Flip side, in his youth, he was a boxer, part of the police boys club and all that sort of thing. And when you're in the country, at least back in the day, you get a lot of Aboriginal fellas getting into boxing. And my dad had genuine friends who were Aboriginal, and he would absolutely defend them, look after them, all that. And yet in other times, he'd just be super fucking racist. Dr. John Smith, hello, how you doing? So people can be complicated, is what I'm saying. I don't think it's at all complicated to call my dad racist because he was super fucking racist. But he genuinely had Aboriginal friends. Not like some of my best friends are black. Genuinely had Aboriginal friends. Probably more than me, actually. All right, so my first taste of the new whiskey. Some Hume going up the street. Ooh, it's got a really nice nose on it. I'm just gonna. This is how a guy at a local distillery told me to really get the vibe of it. You cup the glass in your hand so you warm it up a little, and then cover the top of the glass so the vapor builds up a bit, and then you get a good whiff of it. So I'm going to see appreciate the Archie Rose double malt. Okay, this is an extremely pleasant aroma. It's almost like toffee. So with me, with whiskies, when I'm smelling whiskies, I always get sweetness off them, and it's normally sort of different types of sweetness. And I try and capture in my head what sweetness is this reminding me of. This is a very toffee one, almost burnt caramel. Really, really pleasant nose. How's that mouth-wise now? Man, that is easy to drink, and it's got a bit going on. It's got a finish. It stays with you. Oh, there's almost an orange, almost a Terry's chocolate orange flavor in there. Jason, Halloween candy, Halloween whiskey candle at TK Maxx. My God. Oh yeah. Yes. My guess with a vodka is it's like artificially flavored, or they've just put sugar in there. Chog likes thunder as well. There you go. And for me, that's what vodka's good for, to just give you an alcoholic base to put flavors in. It's pretty gosh darn good for that. Whereas this is just the flavor from the distilling in the barrel. So. Man, that is pretty good. Do they give you any details? Probably not, because it's a blended whiskey. What do they say? It's a Solera of single malt and rye malt. That's why it's called double malt. Double malt whiskey combines New South Wales heritage rye and barley malts, matured in Australian... I do have the information. Apera, sherry, bourbon, and virgin oak casks to form an uncommon, easy foundation for your favorite drinks. Okay, if you ever see the term Solera, Dr. John, I am This is brand new to me. Never tasted it before. It's from the Archie Rose Distillery in Sydney. It's their fundamental whiskey, double malt. So this is their entry level. This is cheaper than their other whiskies. My first time tasting it's really fucking good. But yeah, so they say this is a Solera. So if you ever see the term Solera, it can apply to a few different spirits. But what it means is it's not like one cask, one barrel. You will sometimes see references to single barrel whiskies and whatnot. The Solera is they keep adding to it. Like they don't use it all up. They'll bottle. There'll be a blend, and this is a blend of rye whiskey and malt whiskey, and the different whiskies are aged in different sorts of barrels. They come up with a blend, but they don't use all the stuff that's in the barrels, and they just keep adding to it. That's what Solera means. I think I probably did a really bad explanation of Solera there. So, Jason, you had cold ones grog delivered. Nice. And he tried the grape one, like West Coast natural grape flavor. Drank over ice. There you go. Justin Cenk, Oiga, Young Turks. Right. I gotta be honest, no one fucking cares. The ego required to do that is to fucking knock yourself out, buddy. No one cares. I mean, he's a fucking centrist. No leftists like him. Dr. John, the title for the stream, Voice of Oz, Mr. Crowley. Yeah, we've already established Crowley was a jerk, but, he's spooky, and it's spooky season. Is he? Okay, see, is he Turkish born? I know he's of Turkish heritage. But there's that somewhat ambiguous rule in US politics. You have to be a natural born American, and there has been argument about what are the parameters of that definition. Okay. Oof. Hat tip to Archie Rose. This, to me, it's got like elements of raisin, cinnamon. I swear to God, even a little bit of Terry's chocolate orange in there. Really nice flavors. Really nicely done. Oh, wouldn't it be? Yeah, if Crowley had been on the 13th, which would be tomorrow, Friday the 13th. That would have been a good one. Chog, I also don't know the exactness about Ted Cruz. Like I said, the rule is a little bit ambiguous. He's arguing it doesn't apply due to amendments to the Constitution. He's a fucking knob. I don't know. He thinks he's being edgy or funny or whatever doing it. It's fucking knob. Okay. Now, my Starwood twofold. Shows how. It's nice. And I did see it on special in Dan Murphy's this week. Hardly any more expensive than, I reckon, like Jim Beam. That's interesting. The Starwood is much lighter and even a sharper taste. This is sort of deeper, richer flavors. Yeah, this is much more honey sweetness. Like the sweetness in this, as I was saying, was more like toffee to me. This is like a deeper, richer flavor. They're both good. I definitely got to do a blind comparison at one point. I love that, Jason. Our solar system would have collapsed in on itself from the weight of Crowley's ego if he was born on the 13th. I'm not even that good a student of history. Uh, has the 13th always been an ominous thing? When did people start saying, particularly Friday the 13th was ominous? And would Crowley have placed any importance on the 13th? I literally don't know. I love that one, Chog. If the proximity to Canada gets a free pass, how about Mexicans? Yeah. Yeah, it's just not that great at history, certainly not an expert on US constitutional law, but I know there's ambiguity around that phrasing of natural born US citizen. Because John McCain was born overseas, but on an American military base. So that like qualified him as because both his parents, I think, were US citizens and was born on a military base. So I think that qualified him as a natural born US citizen. Chog, you think the 13th comes from Norse mythology? Maybe. And I agree, musical better. A Friday the 13th in October, especially tasty 13th. Oh, if that's it, yes, just with the 28 days thing. If there's a Friday the 13th in February, there'll also be one in March. Yeah. Was it Panama, which was a US protectorate or dominion? I just know he was born overseas, but it was somehow like technically a part of the United States where he was born. Chog, I'm completely unfamiliar with that about the residency. I suppose, the idea is they don't want a US citizen, someone who qualifies as president, to live overseas for ages and then try and run for president. I guess that's the thing. Justin, that's what I assumed, that Cruz's parents were US citizens, but who the fuck knows? I don't know how this shit works. So Jason reckon history of the Friday 13th is contentious. If we divided the months into 28 days each, special day on its own, you'd have 13 months. I mean, you're talking sense there. Let's have 13 months, 28 days each, and jig it so there's always a Friday the 13th. The Julian calendar. Yeah, I mean, what's the level of vanity there that you change the calendar to put your name and your dad's name in it? Or is it the other way? Was Augustus a descendant of Julius? I don't know. Oh, yeah. No, the natural born thing is very ambiguous and open to interpretation. There's no two ways about it. You can even get around it if you were born in Kenya and your parents are smart enough to plant false birth notices on the day of your birth in Hawaii just because they think, our foreign born son is destined to be US president. Let's fake it with some newspaper things in Hawaii. That was a really laborious setup. Oh, well. Anyway, put these back. Got to decide. I've got the idea in my head to do a comparison of entry-level Australian whiskies. So there'd be Ned whiskey and Coastal Stone from Sydney. Right, yeah, that's what. Okay, so Augustus is a descendant of Julius Caesar. Or at least inherited the throne after Julius Caesar. Sure, yes, Kenyan Muslims can run for president. Might not have been a great drone pilot himself, but he hired some great drone pilots. I love that, Safa. You've got more legitimacy to be Russian president than Putin. Just don't go in any windows in high rises, mate. It's musical aviator. Airplane navigation databases get updates every 28 days. Oh, and just by the cycle, 2020 got 14 updates. Nice. Oh, what are we up to? 9 o'clock on a Thursday night. So, concoction I made I haven't tasted yet. That's why Obama made Kerry Secretary of State, believed in these issues. I know what you mean, but I've always loved the phrase of, believed in the use of. It's just like, no, I don't believe you can use drones in war. Well, look, you can. I was wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Beast said he was going to run for president at some point. Weird guy. He doesn't get to have a normal life now. And I don't think he fully I think he mostly comprehends it, but I suspect he doesn't fully comprehend it because I've seen him on video a couple of times looking surprised, confused, confounded when things happen that result in him not being able to have a normal life. And it's like, dude, that's how our society works with celebrity. Music over, he went flying in January 2021. The nav database got updated yesterday. Still goddamn 2020. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't have an orange here. I want an orange peel for my drink. I'm going to disappear again. But again, less than 30 seconds. Now I'm back. Okay. I got the orange because I want an orange peel garnish in my drink. Mr. Beast is very interesting. He's done it for clout and attention, but he's done stuff to help the disadvantaged. Like, so he believes in charity, some things. I don't really know, like, what his worldview and politics are. I did. Brought in a skewer. Hey, Big Pat, how's it going? I agree, Chog. Safa should not be ashamed of his heritage. Sure, the Russian president is a psycho gangster. And yet there are a bunch of Russian nationalists who are pretty much impossible to discern from Nazis. Oh, no, I accidentally got two. All right. I have 2 cherries tonight. That's just the way it goes. Draining the syrup off. There we go. That was the universe talking to me. Good question, Stricky Sager. I think PewDiePie has at least partly retired. Jason, I actually tasted, because there were mini Mr. Beast chocolates you can get here, and I actually tried some on the stream a little while ago. They're okay. Joe, you don't feel ashamed that you share landmass with people from West Dubbo. Yeah, I know, right? Oh, good. You're good, Pat. Good to hear. Yeah. I think it's important to acknowledge, issues with, where you're from or your people or whatever, but you don't have to be defined by the worst of what's around you. Oh, yeah, that's fucking yum. Oh, that's fucking great. 6 bush schools around Dubbo closed. Okay. You're keeping up on some weird news. Let me see if I can find something about that. Look up some news headlines. We'll just go. We will search schools Dubbo. See, schools closing because of fire danger. Is that what you meant? That they closed because of fire danger? Oh, for fuck's sake. I thought you meant they'd shut the schools down. And yes, you need to take responsibility for things you control, like basically what you do. So Jason's saying PewDiePie, yeah, he uploads when he feels like it, and he is set for life. He might stop when his son starts to walk and talk. He, he's just like he hit pinnacles that were believed to be impossible before he hit them, and he's just gone. I think he also acknowledges it's almost like a changing of the guard when Mr. Beast passed him and stuff, and he's just gone, I should stop stressing about this. Oh man, that's really fucking good. Yum. I make some good drinks sometimes. Ha. Yeah, excellent point. Musical better. Unlike Trump, Mr. Beast is actually rich. Well, unlike Trump, Mr. Beast generates a lot of income. He says he spends it all. Yeah, that's how it felt. I don't remember ever having school shut down for a fucking bushfires. And we used to get like summers in Dubbo over 40 Celsius with no air conditioning in our schools. And you'd be sitting, you're trying to pen and paper days, trying to write in a book, and sweat's literally dripping off you and landing on the page. And you're just going, and everyone would always do it every summer. Like, sir, isn't there a rule that if it gets over 35 Celsius, we go home? The teacher would go, no, there is no rule that says that. You go, I'm sure there is, sir. Oh, there you go, John. You've never watched a single PewDiePie video. I don't know if I've ever watched a whole PewDiePie video. I have watched him and seen stuff he's done. Hell, he referenced me once. Someone sent me the link. Like, oh, is this what the kids call, being famous? Because my one viral tweet about the gay lions, he actually had it in one of his reaction videos. So someone sent me the link. Oh my god, you're in a PewDiePie video. So who remembers Atari and Super Nintendo days? You'd slip on the D-pad due to Australia's summer's wet. Yes. I think the really old Atari controllers and hand just slipping off them. God damn. The things we put up with them. So we're saying PewDiePie, married, has a son, lives in Japan, more than enough money, and passive income from his clothing brand to drink. Yeah, no, he seems fine. So musically, I'll be leaving school seeing not only was the sky black, but the hills behind the school were glowing orange was the merry. Damn. Yeah. I don't think there was, when I was growing up, there was ever a bushfire close to Dubbo. It's not so much worse these days. I still remember the lead up to the Black Saturday fires, which was only about 10 years ago here in Victoria, with the Premier at the time giving the warning the day before, saying, this is unprecedented. If you're in these danger areas, you need to get out. And the sky, I posted a video on it. The sky was a really weird color because of the smoke. I'd never seen anything like it. And also just the burst of heat that happened around there. The trees dropped all their leaves, which I'd also never seen in the middle of summer. And I had a video, I was just saying like, hey, this is really weird. This warning has never happened before. If you're in these risky areas, you need to get out. And lo and behold, what happened the next day was absolutely horrific. Oh, there's some goss, Justin. Is he girlfriend? He has a kid. I thought he was married, but I don't know. He has a crew member dating his sister. Yeah. Oh, that was a standard Australian summer, though. Getting burnt by the seatbelt clip. God damn. Jason used to have joysticks for the Atari 5200, Mega 500. Wasn't until I got the Mega Drive. Struggled, had to readjust, living in Queensland. Look, I'll see if I can get a picture of the one I'm talking about. Old Atari joystick. And again, that's such a creepy name. Yes, this is it. Okay, this is the first video game system I ever got to play. The old Atari, and those joysticks. There's one button that stick in the middle, and it was actually really hard. And they were prone to get broken as you desperately tried to dodge things and wrenched it too hard. And they were just fucking cheap plastic. So that was the first joystick I ever used. That was the first game system I ever had. The old Atari. Oh, yeah. Getting branded. That fucking sucked. Yeah, that's actually a good question. Holding a controller in a Queensland summer, pretty tough. Music elevators. Suburb of Como lost 100 homes in 1994. High school crush had both her neighbour home destroyed. Her home was fine. Walked through Como 2 months after. Random. Yeah, no, that's really surreal. And it's also like they have those tornadoes in the US. You'll get a whole series of houses destroyed by a tornado, and then there'll be one that's like untouched. Very weird. Jason, you reckon you never had a problem with those sticks? We broke a few of them when I was a kid. They were tough. Oh man, that's really yummy. I'm glad I made that. Oof, I need to drink something less sweet though. I feel like I've drunk really sweet. Gonna get the diabetes. I feel like I'm drinking really sweet things. Ooh, I could go and get my freezer martini. That'll fucking change up my palate. I think I should drink some soda water, actually. But I'm gonna finish this drink first. Weird sort of pseudo-clarified old-fashioned. It's incredibly yummy. I put too much syrup in it, and it's really sweet. I thought it wasn't going to be sweet enough, and I put extra syrup in it. It's probably a mistake, but I don't know. I don't mind having something really sweet occasionally. See, I don't even remember the names of the games we had. You played Gateway to Apshire, Impossible Mission. Oh, and I'm talking you into a cocktail. I mean, I fucking love cocktails. I'm always going to talk people into cocktails. Oh, Justin, yeah, I meant to. I saw you posted that on Discord, and I don't know what it meant. Bought a copy of the book you were featured in at 13. Oh, okay. See, I didn't actually understand when you posted on the Discord. Hi there, by the way, Heine. A lot of chat happening. We're having fun. Notorious failure, ET. There's a few retro tech things. One of with unis and their media realm had this big wall of game consoles, which is interesting. Yeah, I mean, there were shops, Safa. You could buy consoles anywhere. We had video arcades. That was my thing. Arcade games. Waste all your money. Yeah, Dr. John, the ET game is a notorious failure. Just trying to cash in on the ET IP, as in just the name recognition of ET, and they rushed out this game that was just terrible. Oh no, my back is getting really fucked up again. I'm really annoyed. I thought it was okay, but it's not. Try a. Oof, yeah, I think I might put a heat pack on it tomorrow. Oh god, those ones? Those are a whole thing. The Dragon's Lair, Time Warp, Space Ace arcade games. If you've never heard of them, they looked amazing for the time because even in arcades, graphics were kind of shit. But someone came up with this idea for this one, and it was basically like cell animation. It looked very much like a Disney animated movie, and there would be like 5 to 10-second bits of this cell animation, and then there'd be this thing where you instantly had to make a decision, like you had to move the joystick left, right, up, down, and if you did the wrong thing or got the timing wrong, you were dead. And the length of the game, you ultimately had to do this probably hundreds of times. I watched a guy do it beginning to end. It fucking blew my mind. Just because I'd never got more than about a quarter of the way through the game because it's fucking expensive to keep pumping money into it. Oh, there you go. The animation was Don Bluth, which is very reminiscent of Disney style animation. Were they Laserdisc games? Yeah, they were trippy. And yeah, but even now, movie tie-in games are usually shit. You have those games on Blu-ray. It's an amazing day to be. Yeah, like the time I watched someone just beat that in the arcade. I also saw, and this was a kid. Like I reckon he was only about 12. And how the fuck he got enough money to do that? But he beat Pac-Man. You could beat Pac-Man because the ghosts all moved in programmatic ways. And when you get to the final levels, so basics of Pac-Man, everyone's probably familiar with it, but there's a maze, and you're this little circle that goes around eating these dots, and these 4 ghosts chase you, and if they touch you, you lose a life. And there are 4 power-ups in different corners of the maze, and if you get them, the ghosts are vulnerable and they run away from you, and you can get extra points by chomping the ghosts. But that's for a set amount of time. And as you get through levels, the amount of time the ghosts are vulnerable goes down and down until in the final level, all chomping the power up does is make the ghost that's chasing you, because they're faster than you, but they can't take corners as fast. If you're really proficient at Pac-Man, the ghosts can't take corners as fast as you, but on straight stretches, they're faster than you. So at the final level of Pac-Man, all chomping a power-up does makes the ghost change direction for less than a second. So if it's right on you and you get a power up, it will stop chasing you for less than a second, and then it will chase you again. And I watched this kid, like fucking 12 years old, beat it. And the way he did it, when he finished the final levels done, and he just walked away. It's like, oh wow. All right. Space Invaders was awesome. Space Invaders was, I think, the first game that got more difficult. When you play it, your mum claims she reached the kill screen in Space Invaders. I don't even know what that is. So I'm going to look it up. Kill screen in Space Invaders. What comes up? My guess is at some point the game just caps difficulty so you wouldn't get a problem from a kill screen like a level count. Okay, so there's Q&As. Is there a kill screen? To my understanding, this is a completely unknown question. Every now and then a new world record crops up, but there's no mention of a kill screen that I can find. At some point, the game caps difficulty. Many problems from a kill screen. Can't imagine it'd be a kill screen aside from maybe screwing things up with an absurdly high score. If it were to happen, it happened like 16.7 billion points. Okay. There is, of course, a Wikipedia entry for Space Invaders. Okay, the word kill comes in 7 times. Killer app. Enemies killing the player. Killer app for video games. Killer list of video games. Okay. Not that Wikipedia is comprehensive, but Wikipedia has no mention of a kill screen. Yes, this Frogger episode of Seinfeld was actually pretty funny. Your arcade game of choice was Wonder Boy. There was one that I did really well on, and I was having a constant battle for the top score with someone else, and I didn't know who it was, and I eventually met him. We were in the arcade at the same time, and he goes, "Oh, that's you," and I went, "Oh, that's you." I think I ultimately had the high score, and this wasn't a well-known game. I can't even remember. It was like it was a space one. It was a lateral game. It was never really a big one. I can't even remember what it was called. But I know this was, like Space Invaders would let you put 3 letters as your name on the high score thing. This one let you do about 10 letters, which was incredible. Or maybe 8 letters. This other guy signed Zaphod, as in Zaphod Beeblebrox, and I signed as Elendil, which was a Tolkien reference. So we were both fucking nerds. Oh, Daytona. Daytona was a lot of fun. Yeah, you do still see it in some shopping centers. Yeah. It's pretty wild. I remember even back in the days in the country town, we'd go to the show, like in the big cities, Sydney, Melbourne, it's the Royal Show. In Dubbo, we just called it the show. The show would tour country towns, and there would be various agricultural exhibits. Then there'd be Sideshow Alley. It'd be video games and a haunted house and rides and whatnot. And I remember they were shitty. The mechanics on them didn't work properly, but they're kind of cool. There were several of these arcade machines that would be in the show that the elements on them were physical, not video. And it's supposed to tell where you had your gun. I'm doing this because there's this one where you were supposed to be in a World War I biplane shooting machine gun at other biplanes, and the fucking thing didn't work properly, but it kind of looked cool. But there were some dodgy AF things in the arcade at the show in Sideshow Alley. Very, 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 very dubious things. Strictly say used to change trains at Flinders Street. Across the road, there was a time zone. Skip your lunch so you could use the money for Daytona. I think there are still one or two places in the city, not one or two, there's a few, where you can play arcade games, sort of as a retro thing. There's actually at least 2 bars that have a gaming theme where they have arcade machines, and you can also get you can have a table with screens and have a freaking console to play games as well. Nice Pink Floyd reference. So yeah, thought you might like to go to the show. You like modded Daytona machines. Yeah, there's some weird stuff, but still a few of the malls around Melbourne have an arcade. My son, young Mr. Angry, actually works at a gaming bar. I think there's at least 3 just in the central business district of Melbourne, probably more. Oh, there was, I think one of the ones I knew closed in COVID. And it wasn't even COVID. If I remember rightly, they got fucked over by their landlord. I know Time Zone's pretty old. I mean, we're on the internet. Let's look it up. Go Time Zone arcades in Australia. There are still time zones open now. Okay, Wikipedia for time zone. In 1958, Mystery Pinball opened. Pinball Arcade lasted 20 years until its renaming in 1978. The first Time Zone arcade opened 15th May 1978 in Perth by Leisure and Allied. Yes. In 1995, Time Zone started their ventures outside Australia. So the first Time Zone was 45 years ago. Holy shit, Time Zone's almost as old as me. Holy shit. That's pretty wild to discover. I thought Time Zone was around in my youth. I think there's a time zone at the Crown Casino, or there used to be. I haven't been to Crown in ages because it fucking sucks. There was another place young Mr. Angry worked actually for a while. He was working at Crown Casino. Ugh. God, now because you put it in my head, Dr. John Smith, I've got some bad news for you, sunshine. Pink isn't well. He stayed back at the hotel. It's all pretty gosh darn weird, isn't it? Yeah, mid-90s took off and actually expanded outside of Australia, according to Wikipedia. The arcades were independent. Intensity, that's the other one. Yes, I remember Intensity as well. I mean, I freaking love The Wall. I had the movie Pink Floyd The Wall on VHS way back in the day. I thought Bob Geldof was really good in that. Although you watch that, and even more so than the album, like watching the movie, it's kind of like, wow, Roger Waters really has problems with women, doesn't he? Oof. That boy has issues. I do have to admit, Chuck, I like the bit where Bob Geldof becomes a fascist in it. It's that bit in the hotel room where he shaves his eyebrows off and then just shows up at the gig and turns it into a fascist rally. It's just like, what the fuck? Man, that movie's a fucking trip. Couple of good songs on that album, like double album. Of course, the one that stood out was Brick in the Wall Part 2 was the big hit in Australia. But I love Part 1 and 3 as well. And Comfortably Numb. Oh, so many good tracks. John, it wasn't just his mother. It's like he had problem. The vibe I got from the movie, very big problems with his mother, but just in like there's that particular animation of the flowers, which is a sex metaphor. It was the whole thing. Jason and Capcom started really. Oh, X-Men versus Street Fighter was, and Marvel versus Capcom was fun. There's I love the lead into in the wall to another Brick in the Wall Part 2, which was, as I said, the big hit here. But just that when we were young and went to school, there were certain teachers who would hurt the kids in any way they could. And I don't quite remember the next bit of lyrics about by finding every weakness, no matter how well hidden by the kids. And then there was just that leader with it. But in the town it was well known, when they got home at night, the fat and psychopathic wives would thrash them within inches of their lives. Yes, yo, stand still, laddie. I fucking love that. I'm not saying he's sexist. I'm saying he has problems with women. As in the mother issues in The Wall are overt and central to the whole thing. And in more so than in the album, it's mother problems. In the movie, particularly with some of the animation, is like relationship shit. Yeah, the I think it's like the final lines of Something is about feeling sorry for the people who try to tear down some mad bugger's wall, because in the end it's self-deprecating. To me, in the end, the wall is self-deprecating. Like, he builds up this huge edifice and everyone else is wrong and I'm right. And then finally it's just kind of like building the wall was bad. Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, relationship difficulties. Just can't have a good relationship with women. Is he a Trump fanboy? Because he still does the stuff, the anti-fascist stuff in the shows. I mean, I'll look it up because we're on the internet. Roger Waters Trump. No, it's Roger Trump. No, Roger Waters making anti-Trump statements. Let me see. Waters said he'd like to see Americans more upset by government. They're connected to the message, but not here, because if they were, you wouldn't have Donald Trump as president. You wouldn't have the nonsense with the Democratic primaries, them trying to destroy the only candidate who can possibly win against Donald Trump, Sanders. No, so yeah, he's really anti-Trump and has repeatedly made anti-Trump statements. Johnny Rotten is a Trump fanboy, and is a good question. Did the early Sex Pistols ever have the plot? I don't know. I think certainly 70s and 80s, John Lydon, I saw things that I liked, but these days he's a bloated, nasty, resentful, right-wing shithead. All right, so Waters had an image of Trump while he's singing some of the songs. Yeah, no. Waters is definitely anti-Trump and anti-fascist. Although, yeah, he had this weird thing with some people saying he had Nazi imagery, and it's going like, well, it's anti-Nazi image, because yes, the central character of the wall goes fascist. He's not a hero. Oh, actually, okay. Weird thing with Sid Vicious. Okay, so he died from a heroin overdose when he was out on bail because of Nancy Spungen, where he killed Nancy Spungen. And there's one of those kind of tacky documentaries that had been on, like the cable channels back in the pre-streaming days. It was called Final Day or Last 24 Hours or something. And it was of famous people who died young. There was one on Chris Farley. There was one on John Belushi. There was one on Sid Vicious. And the freakiest thing that came out of the Sid Vicious one, the person making it was interviewing his mum, because his mum's still alive, or was still alive when this is being made. And because what his real name was Simon. And his mum in this interview starts to talk about how he would not have survived in prison, because he was going to go to prison because he killed Nancy Spungen. He was out on bail, but he was going to go to prison because he did kill her, and he's going to prison. And his mum was saying he never would have survived in prison. It would have been awful for him, and it's a mercy that he died. And there's just the language she used in this interview. It started to come off really creepily, like she dosed him, like she deliberately gave him a hit that would kill him because she thought he was better off dead than going to prison. This is not conclusive. It was just a vibe from this interview, and it was like, what the fuck? Oof, that was wild. I don't think I've sat through the Rock and Roll Swindle from beginning to end, but I've seen chunks of it. And I mean, I don't know if the Pistols were ever sort of legitimate rebellion. They certainly got commandeered by Malcolm McLaren and turned into a product. But no, I don't know if they were ever genuine rebellion. They were better than a lot of people in the punk scene. Although my personal favorite is the punk band Crass, because they were actually anarchists living in like an anarchist commune, and then punk came along and they liked what they were hearing about it, and they got in and formed a punk band. But as opposed to people who formed a band to be part of the punk scene and spouted anarchist catchphrases, they were anarchists who thought the punk movement was genuine anarchists, and so they formed a punk band, and they did some fucking awesome shit over the years. Got a few of their albums. Jason, sounds like talking to the adoptive father of one of the Memphis Three. Strong vibes if he did it. Yeah, I mean, fuck's sake. I actually don't believe the Courtney Love killed Kurt Cobain thing. I think the guy who made that doc, like, who's supposedly doing an investigation for Courtney Love, and then he got convinced she actually killed Kurt Cobain. I don't believe that one. I think the guy who made that was a really gross, creepy opportunist. Yes, Chog, the Clash weren't anarchists. They were pretty lefty. They also made extremely good music. Fucking love the Clash. That's my jam. When I was in high school, year 12, Rock the Casbah was like our song. It's what we'd get them to play at all the school discos. Okay, I genuinely don't listen to any Roger Waters interviews. Sounds like he listens to Neil Mitchell. Jesus, that's fucking depressing. My God. But yeah, I can't vouch for that strictly Sega because I don't listen to Roger Waters interviews. But Neil Mitchell listener, that's damning. Oh God, and there's still people defend Michael Jackson. It's so fucking creepy. Oh, honestly, okay, so that was I think that was the last Clash album, and it was released years after they'd done anything good, and it had this killer review. It was in one of the British outlets, whether it was NME or something else, but the entirety of the review for the Clash's album Cut the Crap was, "This is crap and doesn't cut it." Although I did like the single, "This Is England." But yeah, overall, I don't think anyone likes the album. The dodgy as. And I do love the stuff, the guy from The Clash, is it Mick Jones? Big Audio Dynamite. I was quite a fan of Big Audio Dynamite, actually. Yes, it was a great review. I had a friend who was a music journo at the time. He was the one who told me about it. He's going, I might as well fucking give up because I will never top this. This is just the best review ever. Chalk used to enjoy MJ. It's, look, the whole separate the artist from the art type of thing. I think there are a few elements to that. I think you can definitely acknowledge that someone who was an awful person uh, created good art or good entertainment. But it's also different now that he's dead, and various historical figures who turn out to be pieces of shit are dead. Is going, well, they don't get rich if I listen to their music or appreciate their art or read their book or whatever. But for someone, you know, someone who's alive and is producing and is contemporary, uh, if in my estimate they are a horrible, stinking piece of shit, I won't give them any money. Uh, Again, and that probably uh, has no effect on them that I choose that. But I think there's a difference between someone who's alive and who's dead. Oh, that's Adam and the Ants, Jason. Stand and Deliver. I fucking loved it. I have Stand and Deliver on 7-inch vinyl. I have several Adam and the Ants singles on vinyl. I don't have any Adam and the Ants albums though. You still watch Roman Polanski films? I tell you what, uh, uh, it was fucked up when all those people at the Academy Awards gave Roman Polanski a standing ovation, and one or two people were sat down going, "Are you people fucking nuts?" You still love MJ's music. Charles Manson did actually hang out with the Beach Boys for a while, but the Beach Boys were so fucked up on drugs, who knew if they knew what they were doing? Oh, I do remember that one. The eulogy song by the Chaser. Even tools turn into top blokes after death. Um, uh, yeah, death does amazing things. And yes, Harry, the whole Beach Boys, Charles Manson, and various California in the 60s and 70s. Crazy times. Crazy times. Lots of weird shit happening there. No two ways about it. I didn't know that. Horrible Histories did a version of Stand and Deliver. I did not know that. Oh, I've kind of forgotten who's Anna Corrin. Gonna have to look that up. Anna Corrin. No, I don't know who that is. Sorry, I just found a really fucking funny headline. Okay, Aussie journalist Anna Corrin filmed groveling apology in Thailand. Appears to be inside a Thai police station. Coverage of horrifying massacre at childcare centres, which left 37 dead. Based in Hong Kong with CNN, along with a cameraman accused of trespassing. Charges were dropped. Police accepting they believe they had permission to enter the building. They were fined $200 for working as journalists on a tourist visa. We're sorry because we'd like to apologise. Okay, that's weird. I am not particularly familiar with that person or that incident. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Even she will be a top bloke after death. Jesus. Harry, that's not true. You are talking absolute urban legends there. Uh, his father was horribly, grossly abusive, but the chemical castration thing is absolutely, definitely not true. Was that MJ's partially embedded in Sonic 3? Okay, that's pretty wild. I don't want to traumatize you, Harry. I'm not really going to go there with that. Oh, so Tricky Sega, that's also a false rumor, is it? About Sonic 3. I've literally never heard of it. That's a rumor I've never heard before just now. Oh, God, that just made something pop into my head. It's like at the height of Arnold Schwarzenegger's fame power, like the 90s, where he was just in control, like Rolling Stone did this huge cover story on him. And one, it was like the peak of Arnold Schwarzenegger's power. Spy magazine, which was based in England, was going to do an expose on Arnold Schwarzenegger, and of course, the most persistent rumor about the most persistent thing about Schwarzenegger was steroid use. Second most was that he, or at least his dad, was a Nazi. I don't believe Schwarzenegger's a Nazi at all. He says too many compassionate things. But when Spy were planning this expose on Schwarzenegger, they got like a preemptive legal threat from his lawyers, and they published it. They said, here's the thing, here's the list of things his lawyers said they'd sue us if we claimed them in the story. And some of them were really obvious, but they literally, like, some of them were out there and they went, man, we'd never even heard this one. Like, if you say this about Arnold, we'll sue you. And they went, we'd never even heard anyone claim this about Arnold till his lawyers sent us this letter. It was pretty fucking funny. Christian Berg was a German spy? What, is this in East versus West Germany? I don't know. Oh, I just love we've gone through the looking glass, people. We're in fucking weird territory here. Okay, now I'm just trying to think of the weirdest rumor I've ever. Not rumor, well, a rumor, but quite possibly true. Margaret Thatcher's son, who was competing in the Paris to Dakar rally one year, disappeared, like was lost somewhere in this. And people doing the Paris to Dakar do fucking get lost in the desert and can fucking die. And he was missing for like 3-4 days at least, I think. And people weren't worrying he was dead. But then he turned up. But then there was this whole conspiracy theory that he was doing some fucking spying thing. Now I want to look that up too. And because we're on the internet, I can. And I'm going to. Thatcher, Paris, Dakar. Okay, so it's Mark Thatcher. What does Wikipedia say about this? Here we go. Missing during 1982 Paris-Dakar rally. Thatcher and his French driver went missing for 6 days. They were declared missing. Large-scale search launched. The Algerian military spotted his party 50 kilometers off course. Caused international embarrassment to his mother. Prime Minister insisted on paying £2,000 personally towards the cost of the search. Thatcher said afterwards he did no preparation. We must have hit something. What's this? Okay. Now I'm just going to put conspiracy in that. Mark Thatcher arrested over alleged African coup plot. This is from a socialist website. That should be fun. He was living in Cape Town, South Africa, 2004, and arrested, facing possible 15 years in prison for bankrolling a coup in Equatorial Guinea. Okay, that's something. Okay, I just remember there being some sort of conspiracy that he was doing shit. Oof! It's fucking weird. It's fucking weird. So I was just thinking about weird things like our prime minister who went for a swim and disappeared because he was an idiot and he should never have been swimming in the place where he went swimming, because being dragged out to sea is super fucking plausible in that particular beach, because I've been there and surf is deadly. But I do remember way back, this is like way back when I was at uni, I think the Swedish prime minister got machine gunned or something, and there was a Swedish student at our uni, and she heard the story about Harold Holt going for a swim and disappearing, and going, "Well, how does that happen? The fuck? How the fuck do you let your prime minister just go for a swim and disappear?" And we're like, "Well, how the fuck do you let your prime minister walk down the street and get machine gunned? What the fuck?" Now I want to look that up. I'm just looking everything up. I'm looking everything up because I'm on the internet. Swedish PM machine gun. I don't know. Now they're just showing me a Swedish machine gun. Assassinated. Minister Olaf Palme. February 86, gunned down in the street outside a cinema in Stockholm. Well, that's like Batman. He's going to a movie with his wife and son. Killer never found. So he wasn't machine gunned, he was just shot. Is that right? Let's have a look. Fatally wounded by a single gunshot. Huh. So yes. So I do remember that being a thing where this Swedish student saying, "How did you let your prime minister just go for a swim and disappear? How do you let your prime minister get shot coming out of the movies?" Well, that was the huge conspiracies of Holt being a Soviet or Japanese. I think it was like the Soviets. But the first time I actually, because it's out on the Great Ocean Road, this place. First time I was out on this little spit, and I realized this is the bit where Harold Holt disappeared, and I looked at the sea and went, "Well, fucking of course, it's like so rough," and I was like, "Who would go there?" So what's this, Justin? Compare Hard Time by Jetson's Ice Cap. Okay, those were certainly all words. I did not really understand any of them, but that might be on me. 50 years since Whitlam went to Beijing. Man, we could have had a really different country if Whitlam didn't have such an ego, because I think he was an intelligent and committed agent of social change, but he was also super arrogant and egotistical, and that seemed to be his downfall. Even at the simplest level of not believing the Governor General would turn against him. It's like, Jesus, because Whitlam could have sacked the Governor General before the Governor General sacked him, but his ego wouldn't let him believe that the Governor General would do that. Whitlam and Rudd similar. Rudd's a fucking midget compared to, and a moral and intellectual midget compared to Whitlam. There's the similarity that Rudd's arrogance and ego was his downfall. That's it. Who would dive into the surf off the Crescent Road? Want to be Surfy from West Dubbo? As we used to make. Hey, Micro, we're talking about disappearing Australian prime ministers. We used to joke in Dubbo about the 5 o'clock wave, and we would occasionally get out of town, like people from the coast who loved the surf and didn't know how we survived without surf. I mean, we do have the 5 o'clock wave. And so what's that? Well, you go down the river, everyone gets on their surfboards, and there's a release of water from the dam, and it moves down the river in this huge surge like a wave, and we all wait for it, and it comes, and the record is like, someone surfed it for 20 miles or something. And we'd say it so straight faced. And so if they thought they were going to catch someone else, like someone in Sydney, where they just grab someone random and go, what's the 5 o'clock wave? Everyone knew what the 5 o'clock wave was. So they'd always say the same thing. Micro, no, we just lost one. He went swimming and never came back. And to honor him, there's a swimming pool not that far from me named after him, the Harold Holt Memorial Swimming Pool, which is kind of like having a John F. Kennedy Memorial Shooting Range, quite honestly. Goff once said his cabinet was full of piss ants while he was a great... That was the whole thing when he was saying they're going to stop spending money on flying first class. They could fly first class and still be piss ants. He could fly economy and still be a great man. He certainly had a way with words. There's no two ways about that. It is disappointing that we never got to see all the things he could have done. But fuck, say la vie, that's the way it goes. All right, I'm just having a little splash of this before, just a tiny bit. Yes. Also an Abraham Lincoln shooting range and gun shop. Yes. Yes, the mayor of West Dubbo drowned in an ocean of piss. That actually sounds... We should have a mayor of West Dubbo, because that's just a different country to the rest of Dubbo. None of my family live there anymore. 2 of my siblings lived there at various times. And so no, there's not going to be a Saturday stream. I've already planned a date night for Saturday night. But assuming my back doesn't get worse and I'm absolutely crippled with back pain, there will be a Friday night stream, party night. We'll see how long I last, because that's always a coin toss. Never know what's going to happen on a Friday night. But yeah, that's pretty good. You're talking about the Prime Minister. Do you owe money to the mob types? Well, there was a conspiracy that he was a communist spy and he actually was swam out to either a Russian or Chinese communist submarine. But it was just real fucking rough. Oh yeah, it's actually a Friday the 13th stream tomorrow. So definitely got to do that. Definitely got to do that. All right. Because I accidentally ended up with 2 cherries on my skewer because that's just the way it went tonight. And who am I to argue when 2 cherries end up on my skewer? And yes, Chog. Tomorrow night, party night, Friday the 13th. Spooky night. Yes, pre-Halloween day. Well, actually, all things being equal, there'll be one more date night before Halloween. We'll see. Quite possibly, I will quite possibly be getting Totally Tim Smith. Oh, yeah. It's also so much easier because for about 6 months, I was uploading videos, either a short or a longer video, every day. And I just decided to cut it back to every second day, like do a short, then a day off, then a longer one, then a day off, then a short, then a day off, and longer, etc., etc. And it's made everything much more relaxing. And also, I finally passed 1,000 subscribers on my cocktail channel, which took about 2.5 years longer than it should have because I'm really shit at growing and promoting channels. I used to spend, Friday the 13th. It is Friday the 13th just before Halloween. It's pretty good. Barbara Streisand is Joss Brolin's stepmom. There you go. I didn't know. I thought they were about the same age. I didn't know. Anywho, going to go sleepy bobos. If you're around tomorrow night, Friday the 13th, spooky night, party night. We'll see what comes of that. But I'm going to swan off now. Sorry, I have to do that. You love Halloween. You screw a girl dressed as sexy Marge Simpson and catch her next to you. Well, that's a thing that can happen, definitely. But I'm going 9 eyes. So see you fine people another time. But